Hi friends, happy Thursday. It's Pastor Karen with a Thoughtful Thursday today. You can see I have my tree up. I told you last week how much I love Christmas lights, and especially when I'm driving around at night. But I love when I finally get my tree up and the lights are in my own house. That's just really so cool for me. And one of my favorite things is in the morning when the house is still quiet. Usually that's the time that I spend reading my devotions or my Bible, definitely talking to God in prayer. And I love Christmas time because I just only turn on the lights of my Christmas tree. And that just by itself just brings me peace and kind of ushers me in to that presence of God. So there's my tree. But the other thing I did this week is I set up my nativity scene, and maybe some of you have done the same. I have a creche, and it's the stable, Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. You probably have those as well. Some shepherds, some wise men, an angel or two. But I also have a whole bunch of other people. So I'm going to show you a picture right now. Can you see it? A whole bunch of other figurines who represent people who certainly weren't there at that first Christmas. But I love setting up my nativity scene because each one of these figurines, not just the main characters of the story that we read of that first Christmas, right? I love setting them in the scene first and imagining what that first Christmas in Bethlehem was like, and that night that Jesus was born, and how Mary must have felt and how Joseph must have felt. But then I really do love unpacking all of the other figurines that go in my nativity scene as well, because there's so many that are representations of times in my life, and I might have gotten one of these figurines at a time in my life. And so, like, here's an example. So this is a pregnant woman, and I remember getting this as a gift when I was pregnant with my children. So I love to set that out. And there's a figurine named Jacob in here. There's a figurine named Joshua somewhere in here. There's a grandmother in honor of my mom. There's just so many interesting things. And you might say, well, Pastor Karen, they weren't, all these people weren't at the manger. They weren't standing in the space with the shepherds and the wise men that night in Bethlehem. And you know what? You're right. They weren't. But they are now, kind of just like us. And that's why I think I like it so much, because I think all of us in this Advent season are headed towards that, finding that baby Jesus, following that star, that light, listening to God speak through his angels to tell us how we can find Jesus. So this is like a modern day, right? All of these people who are in my nativity scene, they all have a story, just like each one of us has a story. All have a story how and why they are seeking this Christ child. And so this season of Advent, as we anticipate the birth of Jesus, as we celebrate the light that Jesus brings to us, I hope that we can all imagine and think about and ponder, why is it that we seek this Christ child? What is it that Jesus does for us that we need in our lives? We're likely not a shepherd or a wise man, but maybe we're a pregnant woman or a grandmother or a fisherman or a musician, all seeking Jesus. So this week, as you meet people in the grocery store, as you talk to people on your Zoom calls, as you chat with people on the phone, imagine them all turning to seek this Christ child. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care.